Title: Celestial Rift, Echoes of the Abyss. Chapter 1. The Rift Opens. The sky over Neo Kyoto cracked like glass, shards of reality falling away to reveal a void darker than the depths of space. A deafening hum vibrated through the city as a massive rift materialized above the skyline, swallowing neon lights and casting eerie, pulsating shadows onto the streets below. Hikaru Takahashi stood frozen in the middle of the crosswalk, his amber eyes widening as a gust of wind sent his scarf whipping behind him. He had read stories about the celestial rift in history class, an ancient anomaly that once threatened the balance of the world. But those were just stories, myths to scare children. Yet here it was, unfurling before him, bleeding violet energy like a wounded beast. Then they came. Monstrous figures poured from the rift, their bodies twisting with an unnatural fluidity, black as ink yet pulsing with golden veins. The citizens screamed and scattered. Buildings trembled as the creatures landed, their glowing eyes searching hungrily for prey. Hikaru's instincts screamed at him to run, but his feet were cemented to the asphalt. Then, a voice echoed in his mind, a deep, commanding presence. Bearer of the astral key. The time has come. Pain seared through Hikaru's chest. He gasped, clutching at his hoodie as golden light burst from his sternum, forming into the shape of an ornate, silver key emblazoned with celestial runes. His mind flooded with images, warriors clad in radiant armor, wielding weapons forged from starlight, and at the center of it all, himself. He barely had time to process it before one of the creatures lunged. Just as its claws neared his throat, a crimson blade sliced through the air, severing the beast's arm with a spray of golden ichor. "I was hoping I wouldn't have to save your ass, Hikaru." A girl landed in front of him, her twin katanas gleaming under the city lights. I aim for Jawara, his childhood friend, but now clad in a sleek, obsidian battle suit lined with silver filigree. Her violet eyes burned with a fierce determination. Hikaru gasped. "I aim. What's going on?" She didn't answer. Instead, she pivoted, deflecting another strike from the advancing creatures with a spark of energy. "No time to explain. Use your damn key." Hikaru hesitated. The ornate key pulsed in his hands. His heart pounded in his chest, a primal force urging him forward. He had no idea how, but he knew this key was his weapon, his destiny. Taking a deep breath, he thrust it forward. A blinding pillar of light erupted from its tip, and in an instant, the entire battlefield was bathed in celestial radiance. Chapter 2. The Awakening. Hikaru collapsed to his knees, gasping for breath. The monsters had disintegrated in the holy light, leaving only faint traces of golden dust floating in the air. Iame knelt beside him, pressing a hand to his shoulder. "You're not dead." "That's a good start," she quipped, though concern laced her voice. Hikaru managed a weak laugh. "What the hell just happened?" Iame exhaled sharply. "You awakened as a celestial guardian. We don't have time to sit around. That rift isn't closing, and worse things are coming." Hikaru frowned. The celestial rift. The creatures. His key. Everything was happening too fast. But the deep voice in his mind whispered again, urging him to move forward. Above them, the rift pulsed once more, and a figure emerged. Unlike the previous creatures, this one was humanoid, draped in a flowing black cloak with golden embroidery. His face was obscured by a mask, but his presence alone sent chills down Hikaru's spine. "You are the new astral Kibera," the figure said, his voice as smooth as silk yet laced with malice. "How interesting." Iame stepped in front of Hikaru, gripping her katanas tighter. "Stay back, Hikaru. This one's different." The masked figure chuckled. "Brave. But futile." He raised a hand, and the cityscape around them began to distort, bending and warping as if reality itself were rejecting their presence. Hikaru clenched his fists around the key, feeling its warmth pulse against his skin. He didn't know how, but he had the distinct feeling that his journey was only beginning. The war for the Celestial Rift had begun. Chapter 3: The Shattered Dawn. The masked figure extended a gloved hand, and with a single motion, the air crackled with malevolent energy. A black sphere of writhing tendrils formed in his palm before launching toward Hikaru and Iame. "Move!" Iame shouted, grabbing Hikaru's wrist and pulling him aside just in time. The sphere exploded against the pavement, sending chunks of asphalt flying. Hikaru scrambled to his feet, heart hammering. "What is that guy?" "A warden of the abyss," Iame said, gritting her teeth. "And we're not ready for him." The warden's laughter echoed eerily. "Smart girl. But knowledge won't save you." He flicked his fingers, and the rift behind him expanded. More creatures began to spill forth, their guttural roars shaking the ground. Hikaru's grip on the key tightened. "I can't run." "Not this time." He raised the key again, trying to summon the same celestial energy as before. Light flickered at its tip, but it was weak. The warden smirked. "Pathetic." Before he could strike, a sudden burst of wind tore through the battlefield. A new figure landed between them, a man draped in golden armor, his presence radiating sheer power. "Enough." His voice was firm, carrying an authority that made even the warden pause. Iame's eyes widened. "The Vanguard." The newcomer turned his gaze toward Hikaru. "Keybearer, if you wish to survive, you must come with me." "Now." Hikaru swallowed hard. He had no idea who this man was, but something told him that his fate had already been sealed the moment the rift opened. Chapter 4: The Celestial Order. The Vanguard wasted no time. With a sharp gesture, he summoned a golden portal that shimmered with ethereal energy. "Now!" he commanded. Hikaru exchanged a brief glance with Iame. She nodded. Without hesitation, they stepped through the portal, the battlefield vanishing behind them. They emerged in a vast, circular chamber adorned with celestial motifs. Starlight flickered along the domed ceiling, and floating holographic maps depicted various regions of the world, all connected to a pulsating core, presumably the celestial rift itself. A council of figures stood before them, clad in robes of silver and gold. Their eyes gleamed with wisdom, their expressions solemn. Hikaru Takahashi, an elder, spoke, his voice carrying an echo of centuries. "You are the last astral keybearer. The fate of both realms now rests upon your shoulders." Hikaru's breath caught in his throat. He wasn't just fighting to survive anymore. He was fighting for the fate of the world.